The stars hung like diamonds against the endless black of space. Commander Jack Harrison stood on the bridge of the Intrepid, hands clasped behind his back as he watched the main view screen. The small Earth Alliance vessel slipped silently through the newly charted Proxima Centauri system. This was supposed to be a routine patrol. Boring, even. "Sir, I'm picking up something strange," said Lieutenant Samantha Miller from her tactical station. Her fingers danced across the control panel. "Energy readings unlike anything in our database." Harrison frowned. "Natural phenomenon?" "No, sir." Miller looked up, her face pale. "It's a ship, and it's massive." Seconds later, it appeared on their view screen. The alien vessel emerged from behind the third planet's moon, and collective gasps filled the bridge. The ship was enormous, a hulking behemoth of dark metal and pulsing lights that dwarfed the Intrepid like a whale next to a minnow. "Status report," Harrison ordered, his voice steady despite the knot forming in his stomach. "Science Officer Laura," Bennett spoke quickly. "The ship is approximately 5 times our size. Power readings are off the charts. Weapon systems active but not targeting us yet." "Open communication channels," Harrison said to Communications Officer Derek Wright. Wright's fingers trembled slightly. "Channels open, sir. This is Commander Jack Harrison of the Earth Alliance vessel Intrepid. We are on a peaceful mission of exploration and mean no harm. Please identify yourselves." The bridge fell silent. Seconds stretched into a full minute. "They're scanning us," Bennett reported. "Deep scan. They're accessing our computer system somehow." Harrison slammed his hand on the security alert button. "Shields up. Computer lockdown." "Too late, sir," Bennett replied. "They've already downloaded our language database." The view screen flickered, and an alien figure appeared. The creature had a hard chitinous exoskeleton that gleamed under bright lights. 6 limbs were visible, 4 of them ending in claw-like appendages. Its head featured multiple compound eyes that shifted independently of each other and mandibles that clicked rhythmically. "Humans," the alien said, the word sounding strange through the translation system. "Your species is unknown to us. I am High Commander Zortek of the Krelnarn Empire, rulers of 303 worlds." Harrison straightened his uniform. "On behalf of Earth and its colonies, we welcome peaceful contact with your civilization." The alien's mandibles clicked faster. "Peace is acceptance of the inevitable. Your technology signatures indicate adequate advancement. You will surrender your vessel and prepare to be escorted to the nearest Krelnarn processing center. Your species will become the 304th to join our glorious empire." The bridge crew exchanged worried glances. "I believe there's been a misunderstanding," Harrison said carefully. "We do not surrender to anyone. The Earth Alliance is an independent entity. We would be happy to establish diplomatic relations as equals." "Equals?" Zortek interrupted, his multiple eyes blinking in what seemed like surprise. "There are no equals to the Krelnarn. There is only the Empire and those who serve it." Harrison motioned for Wright to mute the transmission. "What do we know about these Krelnarn?" he asked Bennett. She shook her head. "Nothing in our databases, sir. But I'm analyzing their ship design and communication patterns. They appear to operate like a hive mind, with highly organized hierarchical structures." Harrison nodded and signaled Wright to resume the communication. "High Commander Zortek, humans do not submit to threats. We suggest a diplomatic meeting between our peoples to—" "Diplomacy is for equals," Zortek cut in. "You will comply or face immediate consequences. You have one of your Earth minutes to decide." The transmission ended abruptly. "Battle stations," Harrison ordered. "Miller, what are our chances if they attack?" Miller's face was grim. "Their weapons could tear us apart, sir. I'm detecting energy weapons, missile systems, and something that looks like a gravity weapon. Can we outrun them? Possibly. Our engines are designed for speed, and their ship's size might make it less maneuverable." Harrison paced the bridge. "Right, prepare a quantum burst transmission to Earth Alliance headquarters. Send everything we have on the Krelnarn ship. Bennett, I want all the data you can gather on their technology." "Sir," Miller interrupted, They're powering up weapons. Evasive pattern Delta, Harrison ordered. Prepare for... A blinding flash lit up the view screen. The Intrepid rocked violently as the energy blast passed close to their starboard side, a warning shot that could have destroyed them. Minimal damage, Miller reported, shields holding at 82%. Harrison's jaw tightened. They're toying with us. Right, is that transmission ready? Yes, sir. Send it now, then prepare for emergency jump to light speed. As Wright activated the border quantum burst, Harrison opened a shipwide channel. All hands, this is the commander. Secure all stations for emergency maneuvers. This is not a drill. The alien ship fired again, this time striking the Intrepid directly. The bridge lights flickered as the ship shuddered under the impact. Shields at 41%, Miller called out. One more hit like that and we're done. Execute jump, Harrison ordered. The stars on the view screen stretched into lines as the Intrepid accelerated to light speed, narrowly avoiding another energy blast from the Krellnarn ship. They're pursuing, Bennett reported, but their acceleration is slower. We're gaining distance. Harrison collapsed into his command chair, mind racing. Set course for Earth, maximum speed. As the ship hurtled through space, Harrison stared at the tactical display showing the Krellnarn vessel falling behind. For now. Humanity had just made first contact with an advanced alien civilization, and it had gone about as badly as possible. Sir, Wright said quietly. The quantum burst was confirmed received by headquarters. Earth knows about the Krellnarn now. Harrison nodded grimly. And the Krellnarn know about us. Something tells me they won't stop with one ship. He looked around at his crew, seeing the fear in their eyes but also determination. We need to get home and warn them. All of humanity needs to prepare. The Intrepid raced toward Earth, carrying news of a threat unlike any humans had faced before. 3 days after the Intrepid's return, the Earth Alliance Security Council gathered in the large underground chamber beneath New Geneva. The room was cold and filled with tension. 50 chairs formed a half circle facing a central podium. Some seats held actual people, while others displayed flickering blue holograms of colony representatives who couldn't attend in person. Admiral Catherine Powell walked to the center of the room. Her gray uniform was perfectly pressed, her silver, hair pulled back in a tight bun. She stood straight and tall, though the dark circles under her eyes showed she hadn't slept much since the Intrepid returned with its alarming news. The recording you just watched is real, Powell said, her voice echoing in the quiet chamber. Commander Harrison and the Intrepid encountered an alien force called the Krellnarn Empire. This empire has conquered over 300 other species, and now they know about us. Worried whispers filled the room. Council President William Carter, a tall man with dark skin and a closely trimmed beard, raised his hand for silence. What exactly are we facing, Admiral? Carter asked. Powell pressed a button on her wrist device. A large 3D image appeared above the center of the room, showing the massive Krellnarn ship that had attacked the Intrepid. This ship is 5 times larger than our biggest battlecruiser, Powell explained. Their weapons technology is advanced. Their armor is strong. And based on Harrison's report, they have no interest in peaceful relations. A woman from the Mars colony stood up. So we're doomed? Is that what you're saying? No, Powell said firmly. I'm saying we face a serious threat. But humanity has advantages the Krellnarn don't know about. She nodded to a man sitting in the front row. General Vincent Martinez stood up and joined her at the center. He was shorter than Powell, with a stocky build and a face marked with a scar from an old battle. For the past 15 years, Martinez said, we've been preparing for this exact situation. When we found those alien ruins on Mars, we knew other life existed out there. We knew some might not be friendly. Martinez pressed a button, and the image changed to show Earth's defense fleet, 20 sleek warships in orbit around the planet. This is just what we show the public, he continued, but we have more. He pressed the button again. The image changed to reveal dozens of hidden weapons platforms around Earth and its colonies. There were ships of unusual designs, missile systems hidden in asteroids, and strange devices that looked like satellites, but were clearly weapons. Project Aegis, Martinez explained. Named after the shield of the ancient goddess Athena. We've been building this in secret, hoping we'd never need it. Carter leaned forward in his chair. Will it be enough against the Krellnarn? Powell and Martinez exchanged looks. Powell nodded to a woman sitting quietly in the corner of the room. Dr. Olivia Chen stood up. She was small and slim, wearing simple clothes instead of a uniform. She walked to the center with a tablet in her hands. I've studied the scans the Intrepid took of the Krellnarn, Dr. Chen said. Their biology is insect-like. Their social structure appears to be similar to ants or bees, a hive mind with clear hierarchy. She tapped her tablet, and the hologram changed to show a Krellnarn up close. Look at their ship designs, their communication patterns, even their language, she continued. Everything about them values order, structure, and obedience. They conquered 300 species because those species probably tried to fight like the Krellnarn fight, with strict formations, clear chains of command, and predictable tactics. Martinez smiled slightly. But that's not how humans fight, is it? Powell shook her head. Humanity has something the Krellnarn don't understand. We spent thousands of years fighting each other. We developed guerrilla warfare, surprise attacks, deception, and creative tactics. We value individual initiative as much as group coordination. Looked around the room, meeting the eyes of each council member. The Krellnarn expect us to either surrender immediately or fight them head-on like all the other species they've conquered. They don't know what we're capable of. A man from the Europa colony spoke up. So what do? Attack them first? Carter raised his hand again for order. We are not aggressors. We will attempt one more diplomatic contact. Offer peace, offer trade, offer anything reasonable. And if they refuse? Asked a woman representing the Alpha Centauri colonies. Then, Carter said slowly, we show them why they should have researched humans more carefully before threatening us. The council voted unanimously to approve both the diplomatic mission and the full activation of Project Aegis. As people filed out of the room, Admiral Powell pulled General Martinez aside. Vincent, she said quietly, we need to talk about Operation Typhon. Martinez's face grew serious. Catherine, that's a last resort. Even mentioning it requires highest clearance. I know, Powell whispered, but if the Krellnarn are as powerful as we think, we might need it. They walked down a long corridor to a small room with no windows. Martinez placed his hand on a scanner, then leaned forward for an eye scan. The heavy door slid open with a soft hiss. Inside, a single holographic projector sat on a table. Martinez activated it, and plans for a weapon unlike anything humans had publicly acknowledged appeared in the air before them. Operation Typhon, Martinez said softly, named after the monster that even the gods feared. Powell looked at the schematics with a mixture of awe and dread. How soon can it be ready? 3 weeks if we rush. But Catherine, if we use this, No, she interrupted. But if it's a choice between extinction and using Typhon, she didn't finish the sentence. They stared at the hologram in silence. Outside, Earth continued its normal day, its people still unaware of the threat approaching from the stars. Soon, humanity would face its greatest test. Begin preparations, Powell finally said. And pray we don't need it. 2 weeks passed. Earth prepared for war but hoped for peace. The diplomatic mission sent to meet the Krellnarn never returned. Then, early one morning, long-range sensors detected movement near Jupiter. 30 massive Krellnarn warships appeared, in a perfect formation, their dark hulls reflecting the distant sunlight. In Earth's orbit, Captain Frank Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the Defiance, Earth's newest and most advanced battlecruiser. He was a man of medium height with broad shoulders and calm brown eyes that missed nothing. His hands were clasped behind his back as he studied the large view screen, showing the approaching alien fleet. They're taking their time, Rodriguez said quietly, moving in perfect formation. Lieutenant Nicole Anderson, his tactical systems specialist, nodded. She was younger than Rodriguez, with short blonde hair and intense focus. That's how they always fight, according to Dr. Chen's report. Perfect coordination, No surprises. Rodriguez smiled slightly. Then we'll give them some surprises. The Earth Defense Fleet consisted of only 15 visible vessels, arranged in what appeared to be random positions around the planet. To anyone watching, it looked like Earth was hopelessly outnumbered and disorganized. All ships confirm Chimera protocols are ready, Rodriguez ordered. Confirmed, Captain, replied his communications officer. All ships standing by. The massive Krellnarn flagship moved ahead of their formation. A transmission came through showing a Krellnarn commander. His insect-like face filled the screen, mandibles clicking rapidly. Humans, the alien said, his translated voice cold and mechanical. Your diplomatic vessel has been processed. Your representatives now serve the Empire. You will do the same. This is your final opportunity to surrender with minimal loss of life. Rodriguez leaned forward in his chair. This is Captain Frank Rodriguez of the Earth Alliance. We're still hoping for peaceful relations between our peoples. The Krellnarn commander's compound eyes shifted. Peace comes through order. Order comes through submission. We have studied your primitive weapons and defenses. You cannot win. About those studies, Rodriguez said, his voice friendly. You might want to scan again. We have a saying on Earth. Appearances can be deceiving. He cut the transmission and opened a channel to all Earthships. All vessels, this is Rodriguez. Execute Chimera protocol on my mark. He paused, then said firmly, Mark. Across the Earth fleet, hidden compartments opened in every ship. From these compartments came hundreds of small, unmanned vessels, combat drones that had been invisible to Krellnarn scanners. At the same time, previously hidden weapons platforms around Earth's orbit activated, their cloaking fields dropping. The Krellnarn fleet suddenly faced not 15 disorganized ships, but a complex defense system with hundreds of components. On the tactical display, Anderson watched the Krellnarn ships closely. They're adjusting formation to respond. Then she frowned. Captain, energy readings from our quantum disruptors are at maximum. Activating now. Throughout the space between Earth and the Krellnarn fleet, invisible energy waves spread out. These waves were designed for one purpose: to disrupt the quantum entanglement technology that allowed the Krellnarn ships to communicate instantly with each other. Disruptors at full power, Anderson reported. Their network should be breaking. Down now. On the view screen, the perfect Krellnarn formation began to waver. Ships that had moved in perfect harmony now showed hesitation. It's working, Rodriguez said. They rely on perfect communication between ships. Their tactics are based on acting as a single unit. He smiled grimly. Now each ship has to think for itself. He opened a channel to all Earth vessels. Remember your training. They're bigger, but we're faster and more adaptable. Don't follow predictable patterns. Execute Protocol Sierra 9. The Earth ships broke formation, each moving in its own direction, with its own tactics. The combat drones split into smaller groups, attacking the Krellnarn ships from multiple angles. One of the larger Krellnarn vessels fired on the Defiance. The energy beam was powerful, but Rodriguez had anticipated it. Evasive maneuver Delta 6, he ordered. The Defiance rolled to the side, the energy beam missing by meters. Rodriguez didn't follow the standard counterattack pattern that most space navies would use. Instead, he ordered a completely unexpected maneuver. Full reverse, then immediate jump to attack position C, he commanded. The Defiance shot backward, then used its maneuvering thrusters to appear suddenly behind a Krellnarn ship. The human vessel was smaller but faster, and its weapons were precisely targeted at the alien ship's engines. Fire main cannons, Rodriguez ordered. The Defiance's energy weapons struck the Krellnarn ship's engine section. The larger vessel's shields flickered and failed. A second volley of shots disabled its main power systems. Across the battlefield, other Earth ships were using similar unpredictable tactics. The combat drones swarmed around the larger Krellnarn vessels like angry bees, focusing their attacks on key systems. The Krellnarn are trying to re-establish their network, Anderson reported, adjusting our disruptors to compensate. In the command center on Earth, Admiral Powell and General Martinez watched the battle unfold on a large holographic display. Rodriguez is doing well, Martinez observed. The Krellnarn don't know how to respond to our tactics. Powell nodded. They expected us to fight like everyone else they've conquered, with predictable conventional methods. They've never faced an enemy that adapts so quickly. On the Defiance, Rodriguez received reports from across the battle. 3 Earth ships had been destroyed, their crews evacuated to emergency vessels. But 7 Krellnarn ships were disabled or destroyed, an unexpected outcome for the aliens who had never known defeat. "They're pulling back," Anderson reported, surprise in her voice. "The remaining Krellnarn ships are retreating beyond Saturn's orbit." A cheer went up on the bridge, but Rodriguez raised his hand for quiet. "This isn't over," he said. "They're regrouping. They'll be back with new tactics." His communication officer turned from her station. "Captain, incoming transmission from Admiral Powell." Powell's face appeared on the screen. "Well done, Captain. You've given humanity its first victory against the Krellnarn." "Thank you, Admiral," Rodriguez replied. "But I don't think they'll give up so easily." "No," Powell agreed, her expression serious. "This was just their first wave. Intelligence suggests they have hundreds more ships. Prepare your crew for Phase 2. As the transmission ended, Rodriguez looked out at the stars beyond his view screen. The Krellnarn had never been defeated before. They would be angry now, and desperate to restore their reputation. "All ships," he ordered, "begin repairs immediately. We have very little time before they return." The battle was won, but the war had just begun. Deep in space, aboard the massive Krellnarn dreadnought Eternal Subjugation, Supreme Overlord Zexkrill was angry. His large, insect-like body trembled as he paced the command center. The circular room was filled with Krellnarn workers clicking at control panels. The walls glowed with strange symbols and battle plans. "Impossible," Zexkrill chittered, his mandibles snapping with each word. "No species has ever defeated a Krellnarn battle group. How did these humans do this?" Fleet Commander Vishanar stepped forward cautiously. He was smaller than the Supreme Overlord, his exoskeleton a darker shade of blue. "Supreme One," Vishanar said, bowing his head. "These humans fight strangely. They do not use proper formations. Each of their ships acted differently, without following standard battle protocols. It was chaos. Chaos cannot defeat order." Zexkrill smashed his claw against a nearby console. "The Empire has conquered the galaxy through perfect coordination and superior numbers." Sub-Commander Kratzor, responsible for intelligence gathering, approached with several data tablets. "Supreme One, I have studied the battle recordings. The humans use technologies we have not seen before, small unmanned vessels and devices that disrupted our communication network." Chief Scientist Mechlith entered the command center. He moved slowly, his old exoskeleton showing signs of age. "I have completed my research on human history," Mechlith announced. "The results are concerning." He activated a large screen showing images from Earth's past. "These humans have fought thousands of wars against themselves," Mechlith explained. "Their entire history is filled with conflict, adaptation, and military innovation. Unlike other species who developed under unified governments, humans evolved through constant competition between different groups." The scientist showed images of human battles throughout history. "They have developed countless fighting styles, strategies, and weapons. They value individual thinking and creative solutions in battle." Zexkrill clicked his mandibles in thought. "No matter. We shall adapt our approach. Prepare the Eradicator weapons. We will not underestimate them again." Meanwhile, on Earth, a small team moved silently through the corridors of a captured Krellnarn scout ship. The vessel had crashed during the battle and been recovered mostly intact. The team was led by Colonel Ethan Walsh, a tall man with a serious face and short gray hair. "Move carefully," Walsh whispered to his team. "We don't know if there are any automated defense systems still active." His team included AI specialist Dr. Alicia Ramirez, a woman with long dark hair tied back in a ponytail. She carried a small device that connected to the ship's systems. Next to her walked xenotechnology expert Major Paul Johnson, a broad-shouldered man who studied every detail of the alien ship with intense interest. Combat engineers, Staff Sergeant Diane Garcia and Lieutenant Gregory Price brought up the rear, watching for any dangers and mapping the ship's layout. "This technology is fascinating," Johnson said as they entered what appeared to be the control room. "Look at these interfaces. They're designed for multiple operators working together." Ramirez nodded and connected her neural link to the alien systems. Her eyes closed as information flowed into her mind. "It's strange," she said after a moment. "Their technology is based on a completely different way of thinking than ours. Everything is designed for collective operation, multiple operators sharing a single consciousness." "Can you access their database?" Walsh asked. "Working on it," Ramirez replied. "Their security is strong but predictable. No creative thinking, just layer after layer of the same type of protection." While she worked, Johnson examined the weapons control panel. "These particle cannons are impressive, but inflexible. They're designed to follow specific firing patterns. They've never needed to adapt their weaponry for different scenarios." After 20 minutes, Ramirez opened her eyes. "I'm in. I found their navigation database." Walsh leaned over her shoulder. "Can you locate their nearest base? And their fleet deployment patterns?" "Yes," Ramirez said, her fingers moving across the alien controls. "They have a major staging area near Proxima Centauri. That's where they're gathering reinforcements for the next attack on Earth." Walsh downloaded the information to his secure tablet. "We've got what we need. Let's move out." Back in Earth orbit, Admiral Powell reviewed the intelligence from Walsh's team. She sat in her office aboard the space station Vigilant, looking out at the stars and the ships being repaired after the battle. General Martinez entered her office with a datapad. "Walsh's team did well," he said. "We now know where the Krellnarn are gathering their next attack force." Powell nodded. "And where they're vulnerable." She pulled up a star map showing the Krellnarn staging area. "We could wait for them to attack again. Or we could surprise them at their own base." Martinez finished her thought. "Exactly," Powell said. "They've never experienced an enemy capable of launching a preemptive strike against their territory. Their psychology doesn't account for it." Powell called a secure meeting with her top commanders. Captain Rodriguez of the Defiance attended, along with Captain Natalie Freeman of the stealth vessel Shadow. Freeman was a slender woman with piercing eyes and a reputation for daring missions behind enemy lines. "This won't be easy," Powell told them, showing the plans for the counterattack. "We'll use the experimental Einstein-Rosen bridge generator to create a temporary wormhole. This will allow us to jump directly to the Krellnarn staging area without using the normal space lanes they're watching." "The generator has never been tested at this scale," Martinez warned. "We have no choice," Powell replied. "If we wait for the Krellnarn to attack again with their full force, we might not survive." The commanders studied the battle plans. Captain Freeman would lead the first attack wave with her stealth ships. "Remember the plan," Freeman told her crew as they prepared to depart. "We hit their command and communication nodes first, then their power distribution systems. Once those are down, the main fleet will jump in to finish the job." 3 days later, the Earth Strike Force gathered at the jump point. 20 ships, the best that remained of Earth's fleet, prepared for the risky mission. The Einstein-Rosen bridge generator, a massive ring-shaped device, activated. Energy crackled around it as a swirling portal opened in space. "All ships move through in sequence," Powell ordered from her command ship. "Good hunting." One by one, the Earth vessels entered the wormhole. In seconds, they emerged in the heart of Krellnarn territory, directly within their staging area near Proxima Centauri. The Krellnarn, who had never experienced an enemy capable of such a bold move, were completely unprepared. Their ships were scattered in maintenance positions, many with systems powered down. Captain Freeman's stealth vessels struck first, targeting the Krellnarn command ships with precision attacks. Before the aliens could organize a response, the main Earth fleet emerged from the wormhole, weapons blazing. "Keep them confused," Rodriguez ordered as the Defiance engaged 3 Krellnarn cruisers. "Don't give them time to re-establish their network." The battle was fierce but one-sided. Human adaptability and individual initiative proved devastating against the Krellnarn's rigid hierarchy. When their central command was disrupted, the entire alien fleet fell into disarray. Within hours, what was meant to be the next Krelnarn invasion force was in ruins. Earth had delivered a devastating blow to the supposedly invincible Empire. As the Earth ships prepared to return home, Admiral Powell received a message from Earth Alliance headquarters. The Council has approved the next phase, the message read. Diplomatic contact with the Krelnarn homeworld is authorized. Powell looked out at the remains of the Krelnarn fleet. Perhaps now they would be ready to listen. 1 month after the successful counterattack, a single human ship approached the Krelnarn homeworld. The planet Krelnarvis loomed ahead, its surface a mix of blue oceans and green-brown land masses. Massive cities dotted the continents, their tall buildings stretching toward the sky. Ambassador Daniel Morgan stood on the bridge of the diplomatic vessel Olive Branch, watching the alien planet grow larger on the view screen. He was a tall man with graying hair at his temples and calm, green eyes. Despite his peaceful mission, he wore a simple but elegant uniform that conveyed authority. "They're hailing us," said the communications officer. Morgan nodded. "Open the channel." A Krelnarn face appeared on screen. "Human vessel, you are permitted to dock at the Imperial landing zone. Escorts will meet you there." The Olive Branch carefully followed the path shown by the Krelnarn traffic control. 4 alien fighter ships surrounded them, weapons ready but not activated. "They're being cautious," Morgan observed. "That's a good sign. It means they respect us now." After landing, Morgan and a small team of 3 diplomats were escorted through the alien capital city. The buildings were tall and perfectly symmetrical, designed with mathematical precision. Krelnarn citizens moved about in organized groups, their movements coordinated and efficient. There was no chaos, no disorder, and no creativity visible anywhere. The massive Krelnarn Imperial Palace dominated the city center. Its towering spires reached high into the atmosphere, and battalions of warrior-caste guards stood at attention along the path. Inside the palace, Morgan was led to the Imperial throne room. The vast chamber was designed to intimidate visitors. The ceiling was high and dark, with strange glowing symbols rotating slowly in the air. The walls were lined with trophies from conquered worlds. At the far end, sitting on a raised platform, was Supreme Overlord Zexakril. He was larger than the other Krelnarn Morgan had seen, his exoskeleton a deep purple color that signified his rank. "Approach, human," Zexakril commanded, his translator converting his clicks and chirps into English. Morgan walked forward confidently, stopping at a respectful distance. "You have fought well for primitives," the Overlord said, his compound eyes studying Morgan carefully. "The Empire has never experienced such resistance. We have reconsidered your status. The Empire is prepared to offer you position as a protected autonomous region rather than a subjected world." Morgan smiled politely. "I appreciate the offer, Overlord Zexakril, but I'm not here to discuss our surrender. I'm here to accept yours." The throne room erupted in angry chittering. Guards moved forward, weapons ready. Zexakril raised one claw and everyone fell silent. "Explain yourself, human," he demanded. Morgan remained calm. "At this moment, Earth Alliance vessels have positioned quantum destabilization devices near the star of each of your primary colony systems. Additionally, we've uploaded a dormant virus into your communication network that can disable your hive mind tactical systems empire-wide." He paused, letting the information sink in. "We don't want war. We don't want conquest. Humanity has no interest in ruling your empire or destroying your civilization. We simply want to be left alone." Morgan's neural implant projected images, showing the human fleet's positions throughout Krelnarn space. The accuracy of the information caused Zexakril's mandibles to click rapidly in agitation. "Your empire has conquered 303 species because none of them were prepared for your aggression," Morgan continued. "Humanity is different. We've spent our entire history fighting, mostly ourselves, and developing technologies of war you cannot comprehend." Morgan stepped forward. "If you ever consider attacking Earth or any human colony again, remember this warning from humanity. Run. Run as far and as fast as you can, because what you've seen is only a fraction of what we're capable of when threatened. Zex Krill was silent for a long moment. His compound eyes studied Morgan carefully. You could destroy us, yet you offer peace. This is not logical. That's humanity for you, Morgan replied with a small smile. We're not logical. We're paradoxical. We can be your greatest allies or your worst nightmare. The choice is yours. 2 months later, the Galactic Council welcomed humanity as its newest member. The Krell-Narn Empire signed a non-aggression treaty with humans as equals, not subjects. When asked by representatives of other species why the mighty Krell-Narn had suddenly become so accommodating to these newcomers, the Krell-Narn ambassador would only say, "If you value your civilization, never threaten humans when they warn you to run. Listen,